Welcome to the structure analysis course. So this is the last lecture of theory of failure, whatever we started in the last module. So we have discussed previously total 4 theories of failure. So this is last failure theory, that is maximum shear strain energy failure theory. So let's get started. So this failure theory is also called von Mises yield criteria because he has first time developed this theory. So very important nowadays maximum failure theory. We normally use this criteria to judge whether the material has failed or not. So what this theory says? The failure of a material occur when the total shear strain energy per unit volume in a stressed material reaches a value equal to the shear strain energy per unit volume at the elastic limit in the simple tension. So what it says? So here it says that maximum shear strain, total shear strain energy of a particular body until and unless it is less than the shear strain energy of that material, then our structure or our material is safe. So this is the typical diagram for von Mises yield criteria. So as long as our material or our stress, principal stresses are inside this parabolic shape, inside this circle, then our material is safe. When it crosses, then we call it material has failed. So now we will derive the expression for this theory. So the total strain energy for a body is equal to, this is the expression. So you have sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3 is the three directional principal stress. For example, you have a body which is three dimensional. You have x1, x2, and you have x3. So you have three axis, and similarly you have three principal stress, sigma 1, similarly sigma 2, and you have sigma 3. So three principal stress you have. So now based on these three principal stress, we can derive the maximum total shear strain energy for a body is equal to 1 by 12 c sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus sigma 2 minus sigma 3 whole square plus sigma 3 minus sigma 1 whole square. So this expression I have not derived here because it is in an advanced expression. So for you guys, you may not need the entire derivation here at this point, of course. So what we will do is we'll just consider this as the expression for the total shear strain energy in a particular body per unit volume, and we'll use this expression for the further derivations. So just remember, where the total strain energy in a body can be derived, this is the expression 1 by 12 c sigma 1 minus sigma 3 and sigma whole square plus sigma 2 minus sigma 3 whole square plus sigma 3 minus sigma 1 whole square. So in a simple tension, uniaxial shear, which means the shear stress. So when we are considering a simple tension case means what? So you have a body or maybe a steel bar, which is one end is fixed, and this end basically you are pulling with a force P. So this body basically, in that case, sigma 1 you have some value, whereas sigma 2 and sigma 3 will be 0, right, for this example, because force is acting only in the one direction. So that's what is mentioned here. So when in the simple tension case, basically you have only sigma 1, whereas other two sigmas are actually 0. So now what you will get it after, so our expression is just replace sigma 2 and sigma 3 as 0, and only sigma 1 value you have. So if you simplify this equation, you will get, you just plug in sigma 2 and sigma 3 0, you will get it. This is the final expression. So 1 by 12 c 1 by 12 c into 2 into sigma t star. So this is our final expression for the total strain energy, shear strain energy per unit volume of a material. So now what is, so this is for the tension case, right? So now for the failure criteria, so what will be the failure criteria? So this is our original shear strain energy of a body, so this one. So as long as total strain energy is less than this value, so this is again capacity. So if you remember in the last few lectures where I discussed the failure theory, there will be two part, right? One is the forces or the energy developed because of external force inside internal force, and another is the capacity, right? So as long as inside stress is less than the capacity, our structure is safe. So similarly here also, so this expression, if you see, this one is the shear strain energy. So shear strain energy inside the body, so as long as this value is less than this value, our structure is safe. Whenever this value crosses this capacity, our structure will simply fail. So that's what for the failure of the material, when this entire thing, if it is greater than this value, then we'll call it the failure happened. So now if you just simplify it, you will get, this is our final expression: sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus sigma 2 minus sigma 3 whole square plus sigma 3 minus sigma 1 whole square, which is should be, if it is greater than equal to 2 into sigma t star square. So we have derived this expression, and this is the failure criteria. So when this criteria is met, then we'll call it our structure has failed. So now, as we mentioned in earlier lecture also, so sigma t is a yield tension stress, right? Yield tension stress, sigma t star. But for our design purpose, what we do, we divide it by safety factor, and we have our final expression sigma t. So this is our final expression. So now if you replace sigma t here, sigma t star's value here, so you will get, this is our final expression for the shear, the failure criteria. So now this expression is valid for 3D structures, right? I mean 3D structures. But if you convert it into 2D structure, then what will happen? So sigma 3 will go to 0. So only you have sigma 1 and sigma 2. So this is, we replace sigma 3 with 0, and this is our final expression for two-dimensional structure or two-dimensional body. So again, if you do some simplification, because here you have the whole square, right? If you just expand it and you do the simplification for this problem, and finally we'll get sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus sigma 1 sigma 2, if it is equal to sigma t star. So this is our final failure criteria. So in the last slide, if you saw, whatever diagram is shown, that circular diagram is shown, basically that is the expression. This is the expression for that circular diagram, yield stress criteria. So now if you recall, total we have discussed 5 failure theories, and in every time we plot the yield surface. Now if this is the last failure theory we will discuss here in this course. So now I have superimposed all the failure criteria. So if you recall, first this box 1 was what? Box 1 was maximum uh, principal stress theory. So maximum principal stress theory, we have discussed this box. So this is the maximum principal stress theory. If you recall, it was simply box type. So and then we discussed maximum principal strain theory. So if you recall, the shape was something like that. So the failure will be some failure surfaces like that, this dotted line. And then we discussed maximum shear stress theory, which is, you know, this one, this dotted line, right? This dotted line is the maximum shear stress theory, and this is maximum distortion energy theory is this line. So just now whatever we discussed today, that is the final one. So this diagram, please remember here, all the failure theories are actually we combined and we superimpose, and this is our final diagram for the yield surface. So whenever our material is inside the surface, our material is safe, or our structure is safe. When it crosses the material, so for example, some stress is here, sigma 1 value is here, that means the material already failed. So it is outside in the outside of the any surface. So that is a very advantage using this yield surface. We can easily compute which material got failed or not. So now let's solve a quick example here using this failure theory. So we are consistent with the example, right? Same example we have used for all the 5 cases. So what is the theory? The principal stress at any point in a elastic material is given same 200, and another sigma 1 is given 200, sigma 2 is given 100, and sigma 3 is minus 50. So same problem we are considering for all the failure theories, right? Now, if the stress sigma t is given 200 ton per mm square, and you have to find it out whether the failure will occur based on the maximum shear strain energy theory. So that is our problem. So given data, these data are already given to us. Sigma 1 is 200, sigma 2 is 100, and sigma 3 is minus 50. Now elastic limit of the material also given to us. Sigma t is 200, 200 Newton per mm square. So this value is given to us. So now we calculate what is the total shear strain energy per material. Like total strain energy, we have sigma 1, sigma 2. So this is the final expression. If we recall, last slide we have derived this expression. Although we have not derived the expression, we have just directly taken. The derivation of this expression will be a little bit tricky. So anyway, so once we know the maximum shear strain energy, now you replace sigma 1 value and sigma 2 value. Similarly, sigma 2, sigma 3. So all values we replace, plug in this equation, and ultimately we get our final expression is this one. So this is our final expression for the shear strain of a body. So now this is the applied, right? This is shear strain because of the application of external load. Now what is our internal capacity? So internal capacity also given, sigma t yield stress is given to us 200. So just plug in here and just replace all, and sigma t value is 200. So just replace 200, you will get this is our final one. So 95,000 by 12 C is the applied because of applied load, that much strain energy is generated inside, but our material can take maximum of 80 by 12 C. So obviously our material can take very less strain energy, whereas more strain energy already developed. So definitely our structure will or the body will collapse based on this maximum strain energy theory. So just very simple, we have just used this expression, and then we computed our value, and then we checked with what is the capacity of the material, and if the capacity is greater than the applied load, then it is safe, or if it is less than the applied one, then our structure got failed. So that's what we've completed our unit 1 for the structural analysis course. We have discussed starting from compound stresses, and then we discussed the failure theories. Thank you.